On a breezy summer afternoon in the small town of Willowville, a curious girl named Poppy wandered down Willow Lane. Poppy wore a yellow raincoat, even when the sun shone, and had wild red curls that bounced with every step. Her eyes, bright and blue, scanned the hedges for anything magical. Poppy was known for being endlessly curious and carrying a pocket full of pebbles and paper cranes. As she skipped along, a faint rumble caught her attention. Pausing, she pressed her ear to the sky, but the clouds were feathery and harmless. Shrugging, Poppy stooped to tie her shoe when she noticed something peculiar under a rose bush. A tiny, swirling gray cloud, no bigger than her fist, quivering gently. The cloud crackled with electricity, miniature flashes of lightning dancing in its depths. Curious as ever, Poppy reached out, and the cloud gave a delighted zap that made her giggle. No one else could see or hear the cloud except her. Poppy knelt, giggling, certain her day was about to get much more interesting. Poppy gently cupped the pocket-sized thunderstorm in her hands. It buzzed and glowed, warming her palms. She could hear its tiny rumbles, a secret language only she seemed to understand. With a big, trusting smile, Poppy whispered, "Are you lost?" The storm cloud spun in a grateful pirouette, fizzing with joy. She named it Zap. Deciding to take Zap home, she tucked it safely into her raincoat pocket, giggling each time it tickled her side. Along the way, she met her neighbor, Mrs. Cornfield, who frowned at the sky overhead. Poppy almost blurted out her secret, but remembered her mother's words. Always be kind to secrets that aren't yours. Instead, she greeted Mrs. Cornfield warmly, helping carry some groceries inside. All the while, Zap stayed quiet and hid, trusting Poppy's kindness. This was the beginning of an adventure unlike any other, and Poppy's heart swelled with gratitude for her remarkable new friend. The next morning, Poppy carried Zap in her pocket to school. In class, her teacher, Miss Sparrow, spoke about weather, describing how thunderstorms bring rain to thirsty flowers. Poppy felt Zap rumble happily. When Toby, the quiet boy beside her, dropped his pencil, Poppy helped him, flashing an encouraging smile. Suddenly, Zap poked his tiny head out. A faint, playful thunder rolled from Poppy's pocket, making the class giggle. Miss Sparrow winked at Poppy, suspecting nothing unusual. After class, Toby confided he was afraid of thunderstorms. Poppy sat beside him under the big maple tree, showing him the little storm in her pocket. She gently explained, "Not all storms are scary. Some just want to be understood." Toby reached out and for the first time, laughed as a gentle static tickled his finger. Poppy was glad to have shared her kindness and her secret. That afternoon, the sky had grown gloomy and the wind howled. Poppy noticed Zap was jittery, spinning faster in her pocket. She realized he missed the freedom of the sky. At home, she opened her bedroom window and let Zap float around her room, crackling more brightly. She watched in awe, careful to keep him away from lamps and curtains. Poppy placed a glass of water nearby, remembering Miss Sparrow's lesson about water helping thunderstorms make rain. Zap bobbed over the glass, and as he buzzed contentedly, tiny raindrops dripped into the cup. Poppy whispered, "Thank you, Zap, for being so brave in new place." Zap glowed, sending out a sparkling shower of light. Poppy knew that being kind meant helping friends adjust, even when it was hard. She promised to give Zap more time to roam. Over dinner, Poppy's mother noticed her daughter gazing out the window instead of at her peas. "Anything on your mind, dear?" her mother asked. Poppy almost told her about Zap, but remembered her promise to keep her little friend safe. Instead, she shared that she was helping a friend adjust to something new, and her mother praised her thoughtfulness. As night fell, Poppy wrote about her adventures with Zap in her secret journal, decorating the pages with little storm clouds. When it was time for bed, Zap curled beside her pillow, humming a gentle thunder lullaby. Poppy knew the world would be gentler if everyone treated their secrets and their friends with kindness. Gratitude filled her heart for being trusted with something so amazing. The next morning brought a day bright with sun. As she walked with Zap to the park, Poppy thought about how kindness could change everything. On the way, she saw a group of children teasing a small, muddy dog. Poppy gently stepped in, petting the dog and soothing it with calm words until the others wandered off, bored. She cleaned the dog's fur with her sleeve as Zap watched. The dog wagged its tail and followed her to the park gate, Poppy wished she could take every lost thing under her wing like she had with Zap. That day, kindness felt bigger than a thunderstorm, big enough for every stray, every secret, and every frightened heart. One windy Saturday, Poppy and Zap explored the meadows beyond Willowville. Zap zipped in playful loops, sending tiny rumbles over the wildflowers. Suddenly, a large storm rolled in, darkening the sky. Zap trembled. A real thunderstorm. Poppy saw Zap's worry and knelt beside him. "Don't be afraid. Big or small, every storm is different. And you're special just as you are," she murmured. As the sudden rain poured, Poppy sheltered Zap in her raincoat, humming a tune until the thunder faded. Supporting Zap in his fear, Poppy felt her kindness grow stronger than ever, shining like the sun behind the clouds. As the real storm eased, Poppy and Zap found a cozy hollow beneath an old oak tree. Poppy comforted Zap, telling him stories of the world beyond Willowville, of mountains and meadows, oceans and sky. Zap glowed softly, feeling safe. Poppy realized that, just as she had shown kindness to Zap, others had shown kindness to her. Her mother's hugs, Miss Thero's warm smiles, Toby's laughter shared in quiet corners. Kindness was a lightning that sparked from person to person, cloud to heart. Zap grew calmer and brighter, swirling with newfound courage. Together, they watched the last raindrops sparkle in the returning sun. Back on Willow Lane, Poppy saw that Zap was ready to try flying solo. Encouraging him kindly, she opened her hands wide. Zap hovered, uncertain, then twirled around Poppy one last time in an electric hug, sending tingles of gratitude up her arms. "You can find your place in the world now," Poppy whispered, kindness shining in her eyes. With a final thankful rumble, Zap zipped up and away, joining the clouds overhead. Poppy watched, her heart hopeful and full of love. She had learned that true kindness meant helping others even when it meant saying goodbye. After Zap floated into the sky, Poppy leaned against the willow tree at the lane's end. The sun peeked through the clouds and a magnificent rainbow stretched across Willowville. Poppy smiled, feeling gratitude sparkle within her. Because she had shown kindness to Zap, to her friends, and even to strangers and stray dogs, the world seemed more colorful and warm. She promised herself never to stop being curious, honest, and most of all, kind. The raincoat stayed, a badge of adventures to come, and as children laughed nearby, Poppy spotted a tiny, joyful thundercloud waving from the rainbow's end. The story of Poppy and the pocket-sized thunderstorm was one about kindness, the gentlest, greatest force of all.